I see it. Came up. Oh, well, we spelled Cereza's right anyway. Uh-oh, echo effect. Well, that's because I have the sound on. Never mind. I think I'm coming through, though, on the thing. Should I hush? Welcome, Train. I see Train is in the chat.
The world's best gather here. XBL baseball starts now.
It's crushed to the moon, and we're tied.
He picks it up on the second, over to first in time for the double play that ends the inning.
That's gone.
Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Trying to repeat.
It's good!
And Homer to the pen! This game is over!
Oh! Crushed! Left field! Off the pole!
Domingo Bell! Deep right center field! Carrying! And it's gone!
That was hit hard. Swung on, bell to the deep left field. Is this baby gone? A grand slam!
Champion! The AAA World Series is over! What a live shot!
I can't believe my eyes.
All right. Hello, hello, hello. Mic check. Do you hear me, Mist? All right. Good to go. Welcome, everybody. Let me know if any audio issues pop up. As you all can see, I switched over to the headset to try to remedy some of the echo we've been having. So, with that aside, we've got a great AAA matchup tonight between two vets. We've got Ricks and his Cerezas versus Eduardo and the Sirloins. You know, he runs the Sirloins, and typical tip of the hat to the old OG SMB teams. But we got a great matchup tonight, games 1 and 2. We're going to see who can get a good foothold, a good start in this series, and be on their way, hopefully, to a AAA World Series matchup versus a true steam train right now in Zlat, who's played an incredible lineup and went undefeated through his side of the bracket. So they've got a monster waiting for him on the other side. But with all that said, Mist, how are you feeling? How you feel about the matchup, brother?
Really good about it being an even matchup. I really don't know who to pick in this one. Everything now is through the prism of playing against Zlatanimal. And just as wild as that series was, just the fact that he was able to take the monster out has to put pause into anybody going up against him. These two are very conservative players. Zlat got into a wild parking lot brawl there against Dynasty. These two, assuming they'd been paying attention, have got to be a little bit confused by that. It certainly doesn't match their style of doing things, but I do think it's a really good matchup.
Yeah, I agree, Miss. Sorry, I was trying to up your audio. They said it's a little quiet right now. I put you at max, so we'll see if that's a little better. Yeah, I agree. I think this is a really good matchup. It's as difficult to pick as the Zlat and Ty series was, as powerful as Ty was going in to the postseason. Zlat had, I mean, I don't think we can harp too much on the fact he swept Fireball, who's a great AAA player, a great threat, someone that we thought was underseeded based on the way he can play. And then he sweeps Mr. Clutch, who was one of the top players this year, and then obviously swept Dynasty. So, but when we look at Eduardo and Ricks, they're 2 and 3 seed. They're actually a higher seed than Zlat was, and that's because they played great all year. Eduardo had that really good win streak when he showed up late to the season after a little vacation, and Ricks really came on late and got really hot. He was one of the hottest players coming into the postseason, and they're both veterans, like it says there on the first bullet point. They've got a lot of seasons. Eddie, I'm pretty sure, has the most games played all time in AAA, and maybe even the most wins all time. He's still seeking that elusive title. No matter what division you're in, it's really difficult to go and get you a title at any ego, because there's always players in each division that are just brewing at this and ready to go up to the next level. So, with that said, what do you have to say about their AA veteran type skill? You know a lot more about that than me.
Well, I think Ricks is quite a bit more of an unknown. Not that he hasn't been around, but not someone who really has streamed a lot, hasn't really been someone who's appeared on Match of the Week a lot. And then he really was excited about Match of the Week this season, and it was unfortunate that he ran into a bunch of disconnects right around that time, and we ended up aborting that matchup. Even though we really wanted to see him, he was playing great at the time. So it's nice that he gets an opportunity here under the big lights. Eddie, much more of a known quantity. I think Eddie's a little bit underrated. I don't think people are giving that record the respect that it deserves, only because Eddie's Eddie. It seems like he never changes, but I mean, his record compared to last season is a lot better. I know when I played him, his eye was not what I was expecting at all. Much better than I was expecting. So he does have a lot of the same play style, but it seems like he's putting it together here. So hopefully for him at the right time.
Yeah, right. Like you said, and a big part of the good record for Eduardo and for Ricks is that they're really good on the mound. They've got different pitching styles for sure. Eduardo's a little bit more aggressive. He's going to come at you. He's got some top end aces in his lineup, and then he's got some really good relievers coming out of the pen, and they've got some velo that can cause you some trouble, especially if he runs a lot of curveballs early on. And he's really good at locating that curveball. Hang on. Sorry, he's really good at locating that curveball anywhere in the zone, especially up in the zone. Definitely gave me fits during this season. And Rick's somebody that's going to make you watch. He's going to get you in a lot of deep counts, 2-2, 3-2 counts. He's not scared to walk you. So, like you said with Eduardo's eye, he's really improved on it this season, and that's something that's going to have to continue in this series because Rick's is somebody that's going to test your eye and make you really work for each pitch that you get.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to pigeonhole either one of them because both of them are smart enough to adapt. So anything I say here, they could possibly change up as soon as they notice it. But I would say both of them tend to be junk ballers. Rick's tends to be extreme risk averse, really trying to bait pitch. Eddie sort of similar, but I think Eddie's a little less reluctant to put a pitch on the plate. And Eddie notoriously really runs that outside black, so with fade ball. So we'll see if that holds true. But I'm excited. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, and one thing that they both really do well is they're contact swing type players. I don't know if it's 100% contact swing or not, but it's definitely more contact than power from both of them. And you'll see that in games. Eduardo actually had a lot of home runs this year compared to what I thought he was going to have with the fact that he was a contact swinger. But because he has power in his lineup and because he can dot reticles really well and he's playing in Peril Point, which has that short wall, that short side over there. I know I like to call him out for a couple of dink shots that went about 320, it felt like. But he's got power and they both have contact, which really helps you just put bats on balls and really knock them around and get singles and lull you to death. Next thing, out of the middle of nowhere, they've got a guy on first and second, and then they get a double and they've got 2 runs on you in the inning, and they might do that 3 or 4 times in the game. By the end of the game, you're down 8-2. So that's something that they're both really good at. As much as they're different pitchers, they're very similar batters.
Yeah, they are. One thing you have to separate is a contact swinger that tends to be a bit wild and a contact swinger that's really controlling the plate. And I think the reason we're seeing some power from Ed, not only because he does tend to put a lot of power stats in to certain players, knowing that he is a contact hitter, but he does control the plate. When you control the plate, believe me, you can contact swing the ball out of there if you get your pitch. So again, Rick's a little less. I don't know that much about Rick's as far as talking about his offensive style. I do believe he's all or mostly a contact swinger. Doesn't probably score a ton of runs, but I don't think there's a big difference as far as runs scored between they're really similar. I mean, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, like you said, really similar on ERA and on runs for both of them, and that's just a credit to they both pitch well and they both contact swing. So, with that said, we're gonna get it underway here pretty soon. Y'all let me know. Like I said, with the audio stuff, I've never switched over to the headset. Don't feel afraid to shit talk me in the chat or anything. I'm not gonna know if it's messed up unless y'all tell me. So, with that said, we're about to get underway. We're going to get game 1 going. We're going to hopefully see a great ball game. I know that last semifinals on the other side of the bracket, all 4 games came down to the 9th inning. It's going to be hard to live up to that, but should be a great game on the way. And give me a few minutes. I'm going to get everything switched over, and we're going to tell the guys, and we're going to get going. So see you in a second.
All right, you going to feed me? As Lat says I'm still low on volume. I know you said you already put it at max, but
All right. All right, everything should be switched over now. I think we should be ready to rock. And here we go. First pitch of the semifinals between Ricks and Eduardo. We're good to go. And when it comes to missed mic, I have him turned all the way up, so sorry about it if he's a little bit quiet. That's pretty much all I can do at this point. Hopefully I don't overpower him too much.
I'm trying to hug the mic and I'll try to speak up as much as I can here.
All right, and there's the first out. Real quick, 3-pitch at bat. Rick's actually throwing some strikes early on, but, or I'm sorry, yeah. Was Rick's, isn't Rick's the lower seed? Shouldn't he be away first game?
No, he's the 2 seed.
Oh, Rick snuck into the 2 seed. Okay.
Yep, and Eddie's 3.
Dang, Rick's really got on fire at the end, and he's got Goldie Franks on the mound, who's got great stats all the way across, high velo, decent junk, and above average accuracy. So we're gonna see a good ace on the mound for him game 1, and he gets the first ground out, and then gets a strikeout right there. I love the tattoos on the pitcher's arm, pretty intimidating.
Yeah, this is a good pitcher to throw at Eddie. It does help to have some velo against him, but you have to locate it, and you have to. The key with Eddie is to get ahead early. You can't let him use his veteranness and run those counts long on you. That really hurts you.
Yeah, no doubt, and especially if you're going to have an ace on the mound like this, you can afford to be more aggressive because obviously you've got more velo, you've got more junk. It's a little bit harder to get good bats on balls in that situation, and you want to keep that pitch count down. I don't know what Rick's pin looks like, but if I remember correctly, it's a lot weaker than Eddie runs out there. Eddie's definitely got 1 or 2 stud relievers.
Yeah, that's how I beat Rick's this season in our second game after he beat me in the first. Was I injured his pitcher extremely early, and he just wasn't able to recover and didn't have the pen to make any noise after that.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he's got a pretty mid pin for the most part. Better starters than he does pin. And there's 2 on now with 2 outs, and the Serlings with a chance here with a decent bat at the plate to try to make some noise early. 545 average so far in these playoffs. Preston Anonymous. I love all the OGS and B names. He didn't change anything. Keep it sirloins and just edit the stats. He probably even made the stats as similar as he could to those guys.
Yeah, I'm sure he kept him in mind. That sounds like Eddie. Yeah, this is a big hitter here. It's Anonymous. Big hack.
A little bit of lag here early on. Hopefully it doesn't persist throughout the game. But this is a big spot with 2 strikes, 3-2 count. First inning. You know the jitters are happening right now. It's game 1 for both of them.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Rick's wiggle out of this somehow.
Oh, and the fastball gets him as he's checking his traits, and he gets the strikeout early on. The lag may have had something to do with that. Fastballs are really tough to hit when you see a couple of lag pitches. The Cerezas with those crispy pinstripe uniforms, those might be my favorite uniforms in the AAA this year.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yeah, they're definitely my favorite. That white with the cherries really looks good.
And Eduardo, 2 strikes on the plate off rip, already starting off aggressive like we said. He likes to pitch really aggressively. Make you put bats on balls, and there's a leadoff single. Ricks does what he needs to do right there. Pushes that one the other side. And like you said, so far 3 pitches on that outside trying to hit the black.
Yep. Yeah, he's going to have to start locating here. Ricks can get to the ball.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing, contact. On top of the fact it makes your eye, for me at least, it's a lot easier to lock in your eye with contact just because you're not multitasking with your power meter. But also, you can get on those balls in the corner a little bit easier, I feel like, when you're contact swinging, because those balls a lot of times are hard to get power on. But with contact, they're kind of perfect for bloopers when they're on the corners like that. And there's another one right there. A good inside pitch. We'll see if Hammer Lombalo can get him to the plate. He pushes for it, and he gets there, and then back to second.
Oh,
and he's safe.
Oh, wow.
Great base running there from Ricks, and he takes the early 1-0 lead here in the semis against the all-time winningest AAA player.
Wow, what a turn of events for Eddie. It looked like he was going to get off to a hot start, and Even getting that out at second base would have really been nice to just kind of get the one run and cut it. But yeah, he's got more work to do here.
Completely even stats across the board for this batter. Looks like, what, 60, 60, 60? Not an easy person to pitch to. Gives up a little blooper on a ball that was low, and now Damian Rush is going to fire it to the plate. Not going to have enough, and then he takes second again. Pretty much the same play back to back, and now he's got 2-0 with Choo Choo rails up. Much like trains.
And we're going to see most of these guys' hits are going to be those Texas leaguers that kind of pop in there. And if you can string those together, you can really run up the score.
Yeah, that's definitely something that they do a lot of, is just get bloopers. That's like I was saying, with the pitches on the corner, they're hard to get power, but if you're a contact swinger, they're relatively easy for you to get bloopers on, and these guys hit corners really well, so as long as they continue to get bats on balls and contact swing, I think we're going to see a lot of singles. And that really plays a lot into your fielding and base running then. Fielding and base running could be a huge part of this series, something more necessary than if you're playing a power team for sure.
It's interesting though, Uni. This is a pretty small stadium, so even with contact swing, I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple float out here, especially down that right field line. It's kind of tall, but it's very short. It might be down both lines. I think right looks even shorter.
Yeah, I think right is a little bit shorter on Park Day and Arrows, but not by much. Definitely a stadium that you can hit left and right field. Center field's pretty deep, though.
You're mixing your stadiums. This is Ciudad de Colores.
Oh, wrong name, but still, it's the DLC one, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it is. This is one of the DLCs.
Wrong name, but right idea in my head.
Yeah, De Jardinos is that one that's kind of deep to center field, really kind of spacey. They actually are kind of similar as far as those short walls out there in center field.
Yeah, and the Sirloins hit one to center field right there and get it to drop right in front of Ricks. Not sure if he took a weird route with the lag or if he should have slid or whatnot, but he holds him at a single after a throw in. And now we got 1 on, 1 out. Pickoff, luckily doesn't go past the first baseman. A lot of really good contact on this lineup, all the way down to your 8-hitter right now, and pretty much everybody's had decent contact on the team. And
yeah,
she
this
looks like
one's
she's got like a 6-foot-long bat. Can't even see it on the screen. Really does not fit her body very well. It looks giant.
Is that stretch screen maybe?
Oh yeah, the stretch screen might make everything look a little bit bigger. Eddie had to go ahead and make the stream his own way.
Oh, and he's got the pitcher here.
Oh, is he going to sub him out early?
He's going to yank him because he's tense and he's got a big bullpen.
Yeah, and that's something Eddie will do, is sub early. In our series, he subbed after 3 batters against me. Oh, and a great jump by Chris there that saves a run and saves somebody getting to third. And now Lombalo up, trying to get his first runs of the game here, 0-2.
Good job by Ed to scramble back there and not compound that by getting a double play at second base. Got the big man at the plate.
3-0, and now we're seeing that Rick's pitching where he's just barely painting the edges, but someone with contact swinging and someone with a great eye like Ed can do exactly that and take a walk. And he's got another good batter up. Cat Stands, outside pitch and bad ball hitter. He can reach if he needs to a little bit. And a good hit to left field. I don't know if the center fielder's going to get there. It's hanging, though, and the center fielder gets it. De Leche it barely in time, and that saves 2 or 3 runs and holds it at 0. A big break for the Cerezas.
Yeah, a good swing. Ed didn't quite reticle that one up, and especially with contact swing, if you don't reticle it up, it's hard to get enough juice. But a pretty good inning there by Ed, and he's going to get used to Rick's pitching. It's really hard. It takes a while to get used to someone who's kind of really never throwing you anything that unless you earn it. And Rick's is certainly that type of a player there. Ed earned a pitch, but didn't quite get on that one.
Yeah, no doubt. Whenever it really wears you down over the course of just 1 or 2 games alone. A 7-game series, I couldn't imagine. But whenever you have to be that patient every single game, game in and game out, it can really wear on you and start making you reach for some pitches that aren't the best ones. And there's a steal, and he gets him at second, gets him at first, and the hit and run does not pay off as Goldie Franks comes up to the plate with 2 outs. Still getting a little bit of lag here. Hopefully it calms down a little bit.
He's got the fastball, or Digby with the elite 2-seam fastball here.
Yeah, and workhorse.
And he's running a turtle. Yeah, this is an extreme high-end pitcher.
Oh, and he lets it drop. And he takes second. Is he going to have speed? It's the pitcher, and he gets there.
Was that a lag, maybe?
That might have
Probably
been a little bit of a lag drop, but Rick's had one of those last inning. I guess it's only fair. And now is he going to get this one? And he does, and he gets out of it.
And everything is right in the SMB world.
Right. Give and take a little. Eddie's had 2 guys on in the first inning and then bases loaded in the last inning, but pushed nothing across. He's going to try to set himself up again, but take advantage of it this time. And a good eye on a check swing there. Lloyd Cook preparing for the high fastball, but gets it inside, and now it's 3-0. Ooh, he had the reticle there, but not ready to fire.
Wow, look at that power on Cook.
And another walk, the 3rd walk of the game already. Great patience we're seeing so far out of the vet.
Yeah, that's what I said. Eddie's eye is there. You're not going to get away with just throwing junk up there.
Nice little tap into left field, and now he's got 2 on with no outs. 3 straight innings. Now he's had a little bit of juice on the base, but he's got to take advantage of it sooner or later.
Can't possibly be bunting with big man, can he?
Oh no, maybe he should have as he gets into a double play ball here. He's got a little speed, but not enough.
That hurt.
And Ricks is looking to get out of 3 straight jams to start off these semifinals.
Yeah, I think he got misreticled a slider there. Just a tailor-made double play.
Yeah, and that slider can work really well when you throw it just rarely and mix it in out of the middle of nowhere, and that's exactly what Ricks did right there. Hasn't hardly thrown it all game, but then got it to work. But now he gets a hit into right field, and he's finally going to get his first run across. A little dinker past second base, and now they both got their first runs of the semifinals, and we're really underway.
Oh, there he goes.
Great timing on the steal. I did not realize how good of batting stats he's got all the way up and down his lineup.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Oh, boy. And he pokes that one to right field again. We'll see if he rounds third. He doesn't have a ton of speed. Right fielder's got a good arm, but he takes it anyways. Oh, and he's going to get the run. He's going to get caught at second, and that's good enough to get the game tied. And now we're going to the bottom of the third, 2-2. Both teams have been putting up hits. Both teams have been contact swinging well like we expected. No power yet so far, but a lot of singles. And now we see that workhorse reliever out there, righty. See how many innings he can get out of him. He subbed that pitcher really early in the game. He's going to need to milk 3 or 4 innings minimum out of this pitcher if he really wants to keep his bullpen safe.
Yeah, that could be done. Definitely a really strong pitcher. Oh, that was lagged or something.
And Eddie's a smart player. I'm sure he knows he's going to have to attack the strike zone even more aggressively than he normally does. I don't think that's something that worries him too much with how much he hits corners like he has right there on a great outside fastball, just barely missed. He knows if he subs early, it doesn't really change his pitching style too much. Gets him chasing inside right there.
Yeah, and Rick's just took almost that same pitch, but couldn't lay off that second one.
Yeah, and Eddie's pitching a lot more patiently than he normally does, I'd say. Showing some respect for the bat skills of the way the Cerezas have started off hitting the ball. It could definitely come back to haunt him, though, as he went into his pen early, but a decent inning there, just around 10 pitches, and he gets out of it. And now we're all tied up going into the top of the 4th. Turn it into a 5-inning game.
Oh, we got a perfect leadoff hitter here, a bunter, too. Missed
Perfectly
that
guessed the location, but a little bit under it. He even gave him a little bit of batting stats. He knows he's probably going to run through a couple at bats with this pitcher.
Interesting that Eddie's moving that reticle kind of in an ox fashion up there to the top right.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's something he normally does, but honestly, it has not been far off on a lot of his guesses. Ricks is attacking that outside.
Yeah, and I think it's more of a well, for ox it's something else, but it can be a targeting thing to where that ball's coming from that direction.
Right.
I prefer not to do things this way, but it does work for a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people use it just so that they can move in the same direction throughout the box instead of having to cover all 4 sectors from the middle.
Right.
Also not something I really try to do, but I could definitely see how it can help some people. Another grounded, yeah, and dive was on the second baseman here, and he gets him in time in a quick inning for the Sirloins after shutting Ricks out. Now the Sirloins get shut out, and Ricks has 5, 6, 7 up, some decent batters up to the plate. 2 of these 3 already have hits.
We've got a question in the chat asking if the balls high in the zone are easier to hit. I wouldn't necessarily say that's true. It really just depends on the type of pitch and how accurate you are more than anything.
Yeah, like miss, I think it's a lot more dangerous to miss in the top of the zone than it is lower in the zone, but also depends on who you're playing and just knowing your opponent. Some people excel at hitting different areas of the box than others. I know for me personally, everyone in AA turned this off, AAA before I say this, but I do not hit the top of the zone well or read the top of the zone well.
I feel like the top of the zone, as far as fastballs, is a great place to get somebody to swing at a ball on some high cheese. But I also agree with you that the top half is more dangerous if you make a mistake.
Right, if you miss a fastball high, it's a lot more likely to go yard than missing a fastball low, I'd say. They're a lot more likely to roll over a missed fastball low.
Right.
Where if they miss their reticle a little bit on the top on a fastball, they're probably getting under it, and that's still got a chance to get out. The steal. It's not going to be able to get him at 2, but he gets him at 1, and there's 2 outs. A good time steal there from Rick. Swung at a ball because of it, but he pushes that guy to second. And he's got tough out on this one. See if he tries to get some pitches out of that reliever. Already losing some stamina at 30 pitches, a workhorse. He needs to get locked in to try to keep his stats where they're at.
Oh, good location. Just misses.
Good location and good eye. Gets him chasing there, though, and Lloyd Cook almost messed up, but he's able to make the play, and now we got a couple of shutout innings in a row as the pitchers are really starting to lock in, and you see their location is getting a lot better. Sometimes it just takes a few innings, and you can really start dotting your pitches up.
Yeah. Oh, there's a nice hit. Yeah, another thing, Unicorn, I was going to say is although the lower pitchers you're safer as far as home runs, those low pitches, even off the strike zone, are so easy to ground up the middle.
Right.
And that's kind of where it balances out.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the batter. If it's someone with power, maybe you're okay living with a single up the middle. If it's someone weaker, you're more susceptible to throw it up top and just, expect them not to get enough juice on it to leave the park.
Yeah, I definitely pitch that way. Against a contact, I'm more likely to throw high, thinking I'd rather have them put it in the air.
Right.
Because otherwise they're just going to ground single after single after single.
And here's the start of another typical inning. He's got 2 on with 1 out. See if he can stay away from the double play ball here. He's had himself set up a lot this game, and Preston Adonis came up last time that he had the bases filled up. We'll see if he can take advantage of it this time with Big Hack. Takes ball 1. If he can get ball 2 here, Big Hack will get engaged, and he does. The stats are going to be a little bit juiced.
Yeah, it still has plenty of reticle, too.
Right. Righty against a lefty batter. Watches another one inside. He might get an action pitch here. And he loads the bases for the
want to pitch to
walk
him
of the game. Like we said, Ricks is not scared to walk you. I think he trusts the way that he can force ground balls and he can get out of these situations. Very confident in his pitching. He's at 74 on his starter. We'll see if he brings in a stud to try to get out of this spot. And that might even be his best reliever in the pen. Like we said, he's got a pretty mid pen.
Yeah, that's got to be his best. That looks like a pretty tough pitcher. He's hoping that high junk rating maybe can induce a ground ball here.
Yeah, relatively similar junk and accuracy, just lower velo than the starter and less pitch arsenal. He gets him right there. Does he have a chance? Oh, it gets through the
Oh,
gap.
boy.
But he's only going to score one there. But he does break the tie, and he's still got an opportunity to do something here with Damian Rush, who's 2 for 2. And has good speed to try to stay out of a double play situation. Good cutter on the inside there. Oh, and gets him chasing. You know, Eddie's wanting to really take advantage of this situation, seeing him swing at a pitch like that. Whew. Pulls it back just in time for that one. A big spot here. And chases again.
Wow.
Ricks has Eddie a little bit off, and that's
Oh,
a big
my.
strikeout right there. And now he's 1 out away from getting out of another jam. This time just giving up 1, but still very impressive if he can get out of this situation. Little pop up, and the second baseman with the back shoulder 180 catch.
Wow, I thought that was over the second base person's head there, and
It really
it
died.
just seemed to half spin around and grab it.
And he's gotten in a lot of jams this game, but right there is the first time he's given up anything from him. It's actually been a great job of getting out of these situations from Rick. So this game really, it could be way more out of hand. I think Eddie's putting a lot more people on base because he's got 3 more hits than Rick's, and he's got those 4 walks. Meanwhile, Rick's doesn't have any walks, I believe. So we're looking at nearly a double, nearly a 2 times difference in base runners so far this game.
Yeah, and Eddie has at least one other monster. I believe Sabrina's in the pen there, but he might have even a third monster pitcher out there.
Get there, good diving catch from Hammerlawn Ballo. Diving towards the line and saving himself from a double, and that was a big spot because Wayne Crescent's right behind that base runner.
And the team's got to be jacked when the big man comes up with a defensive play like that.
Yeah, Lombola, no, is an OG batter, but probably Eddie's favorite player gave him decent fielding, and he's able to make that play. There's a single there from Ricks. Luna Hendricks is up with a double already in the game and an RBI, trying to add another RBI to the stats, and he gets him on a steal. The rare pickoff
caught
works.
red-handed. Oh, that hurts.
Wow, big brain play there from the vet as he times it up perfectly and knew when to pick off. And now Linus Bigby, who's locked in. We'll see if he subs here. Losing stamina, but still decent stats, and he's going to keep him in.
Yeah, I think he's smart to give him a chance.
Oh, and a perfect reticle location. He guessed it.
Wow.
But it's the pitcher, so he doesn't have quite enough power on it. But here comes Hammerlawn Ballo, who just made a great play in the outfield. A real power threat to lead off the lineup. An interesting leadoff hitter, but something that's worked well for him so far this season.
Yeah, he didn't get a mojo boost for that defensive play, but you know he's feeling it.
Left field, is he going to get the dive? And he does.
Oh.
Great reaction time from the third baseman at the hot corner and stops Lomballo from getting on. But Cat Stanja just as dangerous right behind him. Up to 17 pitches now in just an inning and a third from the reliever. Eddie really making him work on the mound. And a great strike inside, just finds the inside edge and 1-2 count. Gets him chasing. Pitcher bounces off of her glove. Is he going to have time to get there? No, she's got a good enough speed. Pitcher's lucky to not get injured right there. Tries to do his cat and mouse job, but Eddie's not stealing with what, 40 speed?
Oh, maybe should have. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, third out of the inning, and now we've got 4 straight scoreless innings from the Sirloins up against Ricks. He's pitching really well right now. Trying to make it 5, but Luna Hendricks is up at the plate after the guy on first got picked off. He gets to reset this great batter's count and have another swing at it.
Yeah, they both done a good job of fighting out of some jams, and both of them are being very stingy on the man. We're not seeing very many pitches over the plate, especially in crunch time.
Yeah, the pitching is really, really good right now. They're locating well on the corners. Even pitches that are in the zone are just hard to do anything with. Especially when you miss as close as these guys miss. When you hit corners, you're really not sure. Good watch. 1-1. A lot of moving fastballs coming in, not a lot of four seams. And that one's roped down the right field. Is he going to be able to get two? Lombalo's got a decent arm over there. He's going to throw it to second. Not going to be there in time. And now Choo Choo Rails with great stats and clutch.
Wow.
And great speed on second. Just a little base hit right here, and you can tie this game.
I think you got to pull Digby.
Oh, and it gets over the second baseman's head, and he delivers. Mr. Choo Choo with the RBI.
Yeah, he's gone.
Right.
He's back to neutral. He's got nothing now.
Yeah, stats are waning. See if he tries to get one last out with this pitcher. Not sure where he's at in his lineup. I think he still has 5 or so batters before he gets back to the pitcher.
Yeah, I don't know why he's monkeying around here.
There hasn't been much power display. Maybe he feels like he's got room to give up another single and he'll be all right. And that one might drop, but Damian Rush has good enough speed, going to get there, only giving up one. And now the Cerezas finally put one across after being scoreless since the first. And we're at a tie ball game again in the 7th. All the semifinals we've hosted so far this season have came down to the wire, and this one no different.
Yeah, he got more than he could ask for from Digby already. Really nice job from that pitcher who came in under a pretty tough situation to try to push this game forward. I believe he came in like the second inning or third.
Gave him 4 or 5 good innings right there. Only giving up 1 run. That's all you can ask for, and that's exactly what he built the pitcher for. Give him workhorse and practically treat him like an SPRP, and he gets out, getting a little bit too aggressive on the base path there. Great throw from center field.
Wow. Oh, no. You can't do that.
Yeah, the base running and the fielding is going to be major with the way these teams play and hit for singles. Can't have many mistakes and still expect to win the ball game, if any at all, in this series.
That was shades of the Zlat Dynasty series there. We saw some monkey shines on the base paths.
Yeah, a little bit of flashbacks. Maybe these guys will run a starter out next game for 120 pitches as well. First pitch prayer, see if he gets aggressive or not. Looking at the pin. At 30 pitches now for Glitter Jardin. But she's rocking a 1.12 ERA, but she comes out anyways, and we've got a 3-pitch specialist here with nearly the same stats on his velo, junk, and accuracy. Trying to up his velo a little bit here, maybe get the timing off. Or I guess timing's not a huge deal. They're contact swinging.
Yeah, not a bad pitcher. Kind of a funky arsenal, though.
Yeah, Ricks isn't rocking a lot of curveballs on his arsenals. A lot of moving fastballs and a lot of changeup. But you're not really having to watch for any sweeping pitches, so that can make it a little bit easier at the plate. Oh, and a great changeup to hit, but he's going to take the base anyways and get out of that double play situation. And now a great opportunity here to get one across, but Ricks has gotten out of these multiple times this game. And he might do it again right there, but it's going to practically be a bunt, and he's not going to get it in time. And Eduardo gets aggressive trying to get him at home, and I know we've all done that, feeling like, oh, maybe I'll get him this time. Man, it feels like it never works, though.
It never does work, unless you're playing infield in. I knew that Eddie was not going to get a pitch to swing at there, and sure enough, he got a hit on a ball.
Great bunt, and he's going to...
Oh,
he gets there, he beats the bunt out, a perfectly placed bunt, and now he can take that pitcher out if he wants.
That's that bunter ballin', I think, that pulled off that master bunt there.
Yeah, and there's another bunt. He's going to go to third.
Yep.
He's going to get him at third, and he almost gets him at first, and he keeps the pitcher in for that bunt. I guess he's going to run him out there for one more inning. And Hammer Lombalo once again in a big spot with a chance to break the game open. Hasn't delivered so far this game. You know, this is someone that Eduardo really wants to shine in this series. There was a pitch to hit, but he watches it. 2-1.
Yeah, we haven't seen a ball go past the infield the entire game. It's kind of like we're playing softball on a baseball field.
Yeah, a lot of weak hits through the infield with just enough juice to get past the infielder's dives. Oh, he still's on the walk, so it doesn't matter. Bases are loaded again. Third time this game, the bases have been loaded, and so far he's only been able to muster up 1 run in these situations.
Wow, outside pitch and bad ball hitter. This is danger time if you're Ricks.
And that was
I
the
mean, it's
6th walk for the Sirloins. Incredible the amount of walks that Ricks has given up and still been able to get out of the situations. Oh, and the perfect pitch for him, but it goes to the second baseman. Not enough elevation on it, and once again, Ricks gets out of a big spot. He gives up 2, but could have been a lot worse right there with the bases juiced. And now he's got some work to do on his side of the plate. As the game's getting closer to finishing, he's only got 3 more opportunities at the dish.
Yep, gonna have to get the bats going. I think he can do that.
Yeah, especially with Digby running out there with low stats, and he gets a good start, leadoff single right there. You're going to want to take advantage of this pitcher being left out there, maybe make him regret putting him out there for 1 more inning. We'll see if he subs out the pitcher here. I know he's used a decent amount of bullpen. He's going to keep him in. Not a bad idea with how close this game is. You kind of have to be a little bit weary of extra innings.
Yeah, we're back to circa season 10 or 12 with Eddie running the pitcher into the ground here for, I don't understand why. Believe he has quite a bit more in the pen.
Decently placed bunt, good enough to get the guy to second. Yeah, in our series, Eduardo, the reason I was so upset in chat, it was literally nothing to do with Eduardo and everything to do with the fact that I suck. He ran a 0-0-0 pitcher out there and shut me out for 3 straight innings and made me almost uninstall the game. So I know he can pitch with these weak pitchers.
And I think he does pay attention to that, Uni. I think if the pitcher's stats are weak but you're not hitting them, he'll just leave them out there, assuming you have trouble with that velo or whatever.
Right. And he knew that was my weakness, was that I could not hit low velo, and so he kept the lowest possible velo he could out there. And we'll see if that one drops. A little bit of a mistake out there in the field, and it's going to get one across. We've seen 2 or 3 of those now, and I don't think that one was because of the lag, just a little bit of a misread.
Yeah, I agree, Uni. I don't think that one was because of the lag. I think just a bad play, to be honest.
And now he's finally looking at the pen. He doesn't bring in the ace. He brings in Miguel Duke with elite slider, really change up the pitch style on him. Doesn't get him chasing though. 2-0. Brought him in mid-count, which I think is bad baseball, but 3-0 now. And there we go, the first walk of the game for Ricks.
Well, my strategy generally is if there's a runner on, I'm going to bring in a monster. I'm not going to screw around and save a monster.
Right.
If there's a runner on, then it's go time.
Charlie, I see your question in the chat about power swings. The vast majority of players in both leagues do power swing. These guys are kind of exceptions. They're really the top tier of contact swingers in the AAA, and that's why it's such an interesting matchup. They play so similarly at the plate, but most people do power swing. Or you'll have people like me, I power swing until 2 strikes and then I contact swing, but you'll get a little bit of everything throughout the league. Power definitely being the most common.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more mixed in SMB4. I mean, even people like Ox and Mama, they've been mixing contact and power, and then in AAA you've got these 2, and I believe Heisman is all or mostly a contact swinger, and I think
some of the guys that finish lower down, not Barry, of course, because we know his play style, but some of those other guys lower down that are really great pitchers, they contact swing as well, especially adjusting to the higher ego. Barry just says, F it. It's home run or bust for him. He'll run the same exact. I guarantee you with the roster tool changes, M. Barry's lineup looks the exact same.
Yeah, M. Barry's different than other players. He puts 4 donuts on the bat when he's in the on deck circle. So when he steps up to the plate, he feels like he's contact swinging.
Yeah, and Barry's someone that can hit 500-foot shots on you multiple times in a game. Really dangerous batter, and it's just a 1-run game. We haven't seen a home run yet, but any solo shot really ties this game right back up.
That's a good pitch.
Yeah, good
Got
pitch.
him.
And now he fast-paced pitching, but it's not going to work as he gets the leadoff single again, just like last inning. We'll see if he does a little bunt around and small ball to get this one across. He's got good batters up right now, though, and Choo Choo's already delivered once.
Got the mind gamer trait.
Yeah, that's a tough trait to deal with when you're rocking an elite slider type pitcher. You might have to stay away. Mr. 69 Duke on the mound. And there's the bunt. It's going
Oh
to be
boy.
good enough, and he's going to get to second. He's going to try to small ball this run across and get the game tied.
Yeah, and
RBI
that's
Hero engaged now.
That's one thing about a lot of these contact hitters. They'll swallow their pride. They'll bunt. They tend to be get them on, get them over. They're not waiting for somebody to hit one out.
Right, but look at Wild Child's stats. I'd be surprised to see a bunt here. You know he wants all of this ball.
Wow.
RBI Hero engaged, first pitch prayer behind in the rear view, and now ahead in the count. Wouldn't be surprised to see a walk here. But it gets chase, and you know that Ricks wants to swing when you get a chase like that as a pitcher. You're licking your chops because you can get him chasing outside the zone here late in the count. And he does, and it's going to be a
brutal
pop-up on a good
slider.
slider. Great time to use that slider inside after seeing the aggressive swing, and now he's got a chance to wiggle out of this with 2 outs.
He knew she couldn't hold up on that one, but he was lucky he placed it because that pitch is one that can be blasted if he misses.
No doubt, slider, one of the most dangerous pitches, and he gets another low single. Like you said, it's easy to get singles sometimes on those balls low and
Right.
low and middle a little bit. You can pop them center, and now the game is tied, and we got 4 pressure bars. And he's looking to bring in a pinch hitter possibly and do a little more damage. Keeps the pitcher in, though, locked in. Got speed on first. Tie ball game in the 8th inning. Man, every semifinals game so far this season in AAA has been stellar. Oh, and it's through
Oh,
the glove
my.
of Lloyd Cook. As
Whoa,
he chokes a little
Cook.
bit, and they're at the corners, and he's going to have a good leadoff batter up. Oh, no, Dulce de Leche with great stats and power righty engaged.
Yeah, I don't know
Huge
if
spot.
that might have been a handcuff job. I'm not sure that was Rick's fault. I think it might have been one of those goofy, you almost can't dive, but you kind of feel like you should.
Yeah, I think he got a little bit gypped right there. But oh, and he brings in Sabrina and gets the out. Great timing to bring her in. Once again, bad baseball in my mind to bring him in mid-count, but it works. And now he's going into the 9th inning. And Eduardo's got a lot stronger pitcher left than Ricks does right now if they get into extras. But we'll see what happens here in the 9th to see if it even reaches there. Fisher rocking crazy stats on the mound. I didn't realize how good of a pitcher he had, and we've got a couple of beasts in the bullpen for the 9th inning. Going to make these batters really work for it, and he gets the first out right there.
Yeah, I think we might have underestimated Rick's bullpen, though. Why is this pitcher so pumped up? Locked in. What else? That's it.
I know.
Just locked in. Wow.
He is really pumped up for having no trades. It's kind of surprising.
Yeah, this pitcher's really feeling it. Wow.
Oh, what a great catch
Wow.
from the third baseman who's got incredible fielding stats, which is rare on a third baseman, but it paid off right there at the very top of the vert, able to snag it. 5 runs each, 14 hits each, and we're at the bottom of the 9th, and Ricks is looking for a semifinals walk-off to start this series.
Yeah, we got Kawashi here in the chat is just wondering why, Lloyd. Why did you let that ball go by?
Something that's going to haunt Eduardo later in this series if it happens to hurt him. Great fork ball inside. Hasn't seen the fork ball all game. That's something that might be tough to adjust to so late, but if he's going to do damage, he's got a good chance with his 2-3-4 up here. But Perez is not somebody that's easy to hit. One of the, if not the best reliever this year in AAA.
Yeah, and she typically is. She's always been a monster for him. She's rocking the Dark Raider K collector trait. She's at about 106 velo right now.
Elite
on
cutter
that
and
on that K.
collector. Not a pitcher you want to get into a 2-strike count with, but the way that he's been pitching, and it gets right over the second baseman. He's got no vert compared to that third baseman last inning. Ball in, this might actually be close, but he's going to get there in time, and now this is a dangerous spot. A single could win the game here, and look who's up to the plate. You're not sure if you want to pitch to this guy. 4 for 4, 2 doubles, 2 singles, stats juiced.
Yeah, Eddie's not going to pitch to him.
Yeah, I was about to say, Eddie's too smart to do this. We're not going to see some of the wild pitching decisions we saw in the last one, but Choo Choo Rails is just as strong and delivered once already. We'll see how many pitches he gets to hit. Swings at the first one.
Wow, monster versus monster. Mind gamer engaged.
And he wants the walk-off. He swings at the first two. And he chases on
Oh,
all three.
chases the elite cutter.
Oh, and barely gets
Can't
him in
beat it out.
time. And we're
Oh,
going to see an
no.
extra innings ball game here for game 1 of the series.
Just too much arm from Sabrina. It's so hard, Uni, to lay off that brutal elite cut fastball under pressure.
Oh, no doubt. K collector plus elite fastball. You probably know it's coming every time, but you swing every time anyways. It's just one of
That's
those
right.
pitches.
You have no choice. You swing.
Great slider on the inside there. Another weird arsenal here for Ricks, but he gets 2 quick outs here with it. Now Cat stands up. 2 outs. Obviously every at-bat and extras matters. Gets him chasing. Way high. 2-1 count now. Fisherman Fisher still juiced on the mound though. Eddie's still expecting that upper fastball. Doesn't get it. Swings at a curveball inside, and it's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. And now Ricks with another chance to end this ball game. Tied up at the bottom of the 10th.
Only 1 hit difference between these two. They've been dead even so far, folks.
Yeah, the main difference has been the walks. It's 6-1 on the walks right now, so the base paths have been a lot busier with Ricks on the mound, but man, he's wiggled out of them well, and that's got him into this situation. This game could easily be 10-5 right now. He made timely pitches all game. Great changeup coming. And he watches it right outside the plate. Now we got a full count. Forkball coming down.
Brutal location. Oh, it blows it by her. Wow.
What a great sequence there from Eduardo. Sirloin's really feeling it with his location on the mound, and Sabrina's locked in on top of the K collector and the elite cutter. That's going to hurt the locked in a little bit, though, as he hits a single over the shortstop. We've seen a lot of those little dink and dunks over second base and shortstop. As it gets later, it's been less ground balls and more dink and dunks, I think. Fisherman Fisher's got to stay in because he doesn't have much juice left in the pen.
Yeah, and if I'm Ricks, I'm of a mind of getting this girl out of here, even if you have to take a few strikes.
Right, if I'm Ricks right here, I'm definitely, as soon as I see Sabrina Perez come in, I'm trying to get everything to a 2-strike count, even with the K collector, just so I can get her out as soon as possible. My lord, and there's the cutter again. It's just so deadly, and he gets 3 outs. And here we go. Another extra inning of free baseball, the 11th.
Oh, Cook with a chance to make up for a mistake earlier.
And he does. Gets the leadoff single,
nice
and
single.
now it's up to his teammates to do something here. All you can do is do your job, and he gets on base.
Yep, just what the doctor ordered. Lead single. This is something the Sirloins are very good at moving around. And there's the bunt.
Oh,
Fakes the bunt. Takes.
That was the pitch to hit. You wonder if you see a steal here. Maybe now it's an 0-2 count. He's got RBI hero on this player, but it's too late to steal. Now you want to do that early in the count. Two, big pitch coming. 3-2, another deep count here. And the steal brings the shortstop in at the perfect time. He's going to turn the double play because of it. That's really unfortunate for the Sirloins. If he did not steal right there, it might have got by. But now
A bit of luck there from Ricks.
Oh, no doubt. Sometimes it takes a little bit of luck to win in this game. RNG can kill you just as much as luck. Oh, and it gets the pop-up. A decent pitch to hit there. One of the few that weren't on the corner. But De Leche puts it away, and another chance. Ricks has had many opportunities now to walk him off. We'll see who can piece together a few singles. For the last few innings, it's been a lot of get one on, bunt one across, and then get 3 outs. Eerily similar play styles this game from these two.
Yeah.
As mono as you can get. Or what do they say? Mono-y mono? Can he dive? What a play from
Oh,
Wiggins
Wiggins.
at shortstop. Stops the leadoff runner from getting on before that 3-4 come up, and that might end up being huge. But he gets the next one on, and now he's got one on. We'll see if we see a steal here. Maybe not as likely to bunt with one out. But who knows with these two? We've seen a lot of bunts laid down. Even throwing that fastball low and mid, I don't even feel comfortable with that with the amount of singles that he's been giving up.
Oh, takes the cutter.
First time we've seen him take the cutter so far.
Oh, brutal. He might be taking here.
He sees that stamina's going down. Maybe he's trying to get... Yep, and there's the bunt after a 2-strike count. Or a 1-strike count, I'm sorry. And then gets over to second, and now Dizzy is up to the plate. Got walked last time. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a walk here again. Yeah, that's just too dangerous of a batter. But Choo Choo, I'm pretty sure, is right behind him. And this part of the order is incredibly dangerous. Clutch is engaged, of course, here in extras. And you almost want to walk him here. It's a good hit to left field, but because of the contact swing, it's not going to go far enough. And another inning getting out of it.
That was a brilliant location there from Ed.
Into the 12th inning now. There's a good contact swing to right field, but also not going to be enough. We really have not seen hardly any powerful shots in this game. All been dinks and dunks, other than just enough juice to get through the infield, but no power display so far. Even though they contact swing, they've hit home runs this season, so a little bit surprised to see nothing, but also a credit to the way these guys are hitting the corners.
She's a bunter.
Yep, we've seen her get on with a bunt herself.
He might look to bunt for a base hit here with her.
Surprised he didn't invest a little more speed into her with the amount that he bunts and the fact he threw that bunter straight on. One combo I really like is bunter and sprinter. I don't run it because I suck at bunting, but
Right.
I've seen it be pretty deadly.
Yeah, same with me. It is a good combo, though.
Once again, steals, and the shortstop's there, but he doesn't turn to second. He's just going to get the guy at first. And now Sabrina Perez is up. We'll see if he looks to take Perez out, and he doesn't. He's going to make her run one more inning, even with her stamina getting drained a little bit. She's still
her bat looks pretty good here. Doesn't get that one, though.
Yeah, I've noticed he's got a little bit higher starting stats on Perez and that workhorse reliever that he has come in. He knows his play style. He knows he's going to run both of those pitchers out there 3 or 4 innings each if he has to. And remember, he pulled his pitcher in the 2nd inning. We're in the 12th inning now, and he still has people left in the bullpen.
Yep.
Cannot understate how effectively he's ran this bullpen out there and gotten the outs quickly and really stretched the length of his 2 studs.
Yeah, both of them have had a lot of deep pitching, and against these types of hitters, it really makes a big difference, the quality of your pitching statistics, because they generally can get on a lot of balls, and when the ball starts slowing down, that's when they can really start putting together some singles, whereas somebody else that's a little bit more of a big bopper, they might just kind of catch a fastball off of anybody and knock it out.
Right. Now Fisher finally comes out of the game, so we're going to see a new pitcher if Ricks can't get a score right here in the 13th. Takes a little check swing as the pitcher's winding up. Swings there, Lloyd Cook catches it this time. And now we're going into the 13th inning. We'll see what type of bullpen piece he has left. And geez, we definitely underestimated the bullpen.
Wow.
He's got just as dangerous of a bullpen as Eduardo, and this series is going to be tough when you get through those starters, it looks like.
It's funny, these pitchers on both sides have had their lines up above their standard like the entire game. We're seeing those extended bars. This time it's because of clutch.
Yeah, they've got 5 runs each, and it's been against pretty much A- overall rated pitchers the entire time. But this is the closer's not going to have a ton of pitches in him. So it's going to be important to get out of it so that you can maybe stretch 2 innings out of this one in case the game goes a little bit longer. Once again, no curveball, no changeup. Good job catching up to that ball coming from inside all the way into the zone, and he just pokes it to center field. And now Willard Wiggins up 3 for 5. Great stats, clutch engaged. Someone's got to score eventually. Steele has the bad perk.
Oh, running
on,
slow though.
Yeah.
Oh
I don't remember
my.
what that trait is called, but he's got the one that makes you slow at stealing. He just really wanted to get that RBI hero
Oh,
engaged.
bad jumps.
Yeah, bad jumps. Or else
It
that
might have
was
been a
good
hit
enough
and run.
timing. 42 pitches now for Perez. That's a dangerous
pretty
one, but
good.
not quite enough. Center field's too deep. And one of the few that we've seen nearly, I don't know if we've seen a single one reach a warning track. That might be the deepest hit of the game.
I think there was a ball that rolled into the corner that Longbalo picked up out there in right field, but I think it was really just it wasn't really hit that well. Just rolled.
Cutter's still getting him chasing. That was the first boom shot that we've heard, but it doesn't matter. It's on a pitch 6 inches inside. Luda Hendricks up to the plate now. Contact lefties is engaged. Stats are really waning now for Perez. Even one mistake with low stats and you can end this ball game, but gets the chase on a high curveball just out of the zone, and we see another inning with no runs. They're still even on hits and still even on runs, and we're going into the 14th.
It's interesting, Uni, that they each have 5 runs, but the entire game on both sides, it just feels like it's so difficult to hit.
Yeah, it's been a lot of bunting to get one across, singles that get into a double play but lead to a man running across the plate. Really no 2 or 3 RBI hits yet. It's been one at a time. 11 pitches now. We're going to see the stamina start coming down for the closer. He can afford to lose a little bit, though, with those stats. Almost back to where he started. Clutch almost negated. A good slider on the inside, and now there's 2 outs as Crescent puts it away. Choo Choo Rails does not have the RNG gods hurt him, and he gets the catch, and now we got 2 outs. Oh. Good slider on the top of the zone, a pitch that can be dangerous, but located well right there. Screwball just misses. 2-1. Oh, and a good pitch to hit.
Oh, he got a good
does,
swing.
He puts it down the line, and what a catch by
Wow.
Wild Child out there. May not have saved a run, but it definitely saved a double or a triple, and that could be a big spot right there. And we've seen some timely plays and dives from the fielders. Just a great all-around game. We've seen solid hitting. The pitching's really been outstanding, and then the fielding. The only real blemish on the fielding was Lloyd Cook's ball that rolled right under his glove. But other than that, anything user-wise, there's been no mistakes. Oh, I guess we've seen a couple drop right in front of their feet, but we'll blame that on the lag.
And then Lloyd let the ball roll by him, but we're not sure he got handcuffed on that one.
Now with a full count, he subs the pitcher.
Split Seamerson.
And he gets him swinging on a ball. Would have been a walk. Durable on this pitcher, which is interesting. You don't see that ran very much in the AAA or XBL, but finally see a weaker reliever, a down-to-earth reliever that you might be able to hit. After we've seen nothing but incredibly high-stat pitchers this game.
You're probably going to try to, I would think, use that curveball a little bit more here with just the triangle arsenal. And not a lot of velo.
So far, he's been walking this part of the order, but he doesn't have to as he's got no one on right now. He's attacking him a little more. And this is the SPRP, so he's able to throw some balls and still last for a while.
Uh-oh, bad low.
Ooh.
Oh, gets away with it.
You're not going to get many pitches like that. There's another one a little bit missed, but Cat Stands is able to scoop it up. Oh my gosh, almost missed the bag. 15th inning now. We've got 6 extra innings going, and we might double this game up. You know, anytime you have an extra inning game like this, you got to give a shout out to Dark Raider Goat, the OG, the legend that always has these sort of games. And I'm not really surprised to see one out of these two, the way that they've been playing nearly identical type of play styles. And it's really been back and forth. And now we're in a locked out game here. No one's been able to score for 6 innings. A lot of these hits to the infield, they're not very good contact. They're just going to second and short, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, and the RNG gets tighter and tighter too. It becomes more and more difficult to really drive a ball. You've got to just absolutely line it up.
And he's almost at 25 pitches now with this closer, but the stats are still fine because of the locked in and the clutch. Really getting a good job, or a lot of innings. Doing a good job making his closer stretch. 3 innings is something you're not going to see out of a closer hardly ever. And we might see him take him out here as he's going to be the 3rd batter in the order. But 1 for 6, 7th at bat of the ball game for Wildchild. No one on to activate our RBI hero. Interesting spot to have RBI hero on the 7th batter. A good shot to center. Is he going to slide? And another great play from the outfield. It seems like they have one every inning or two sliding catch. And stops the leadoff man from getting on, but just like that, there's a gapper, and he's going to take 2 with that speed. Base rounder engaged and a little bit of a misread, but he's got a good enough arm out there. Is he going to test it? No, he doesn't. Smart decision to go back to second. And the pitcher's batting stats are juiced. There might be no reason to take him out here.
Absolutely not.
Over the 3rd baseman's head, and he's going to round 3rd. We'll see if he has a play at the plate. Base rounder engaged.
Oh, you better turn around.
He hits him. What a throw from left field, 99. Guns out the base rounder, and this game's going to keep on going if he gets out of this. What a huge play in the outfield. The center field sliding catch, other than a cannon 99 from left field. Not a literal cannon arm, but as good as you can get. And Lloyd Cook makes up for it. A crazy defensive inning, hell of an inning from Eduardo on the defensive end right there to save game 1. And now he gives himself a chance back up the plate. Wow, incredible fielding right there.
Yeah, we've seen the kitchen sink, and now we're waiting for the bathtub, and who knows, the jacuzzi. Something's going to be thrown in here because it's just gotten crazy. I knew Ricks was going to go on that play from 3rd, but I knew he was in trouble. And sure enough, the old veteran came up with a big throw.
Anything other than 99, and I think he's in safe right there. Just insanely clutch to line up that 99 right when you need it. And now the closer's stats are nearly all the way drained, and he gets Lombalo chasing. Second baseman's going to get there, though. Cat stands up. We'll wonder when we see the next pitcher. I think he's only got 1 pitcher left, and that's going to be the first home run of the game. And Steve is the center fielder going to get to it. Barely misses. And it reaches the 4th row of the bleachers, and we finally see here in the 16th inning, Cat Stanza make her mark on the game as the first home run of the series, first home run of the game. It took 16 innings, but wow.
Yeah, she really lined that one up. It was not the worst pitch. It was up over into the top corner, but she nailed the location on that one. She's got the power to put it out.
Yeah, and that defensive inning from Eduardo now really saved himself because he saved multiple base runners right there. Obviously gunned him out at home, and now he takes the lead finally, and the momentum is squarely on his side. Nothing's happened in a long time, and now finally 2 half innings in a row that Eduardo's really made some outstanding plays. And I thought the center fielder might even be able to jump up and snag that. It was barely out of the reach of that center fielder.
Yeah, I don't know if the center fielder had a play there. I kind of thought it was going out the whole time, but it was closer than I was expecting.
Would have had to been one of those on-the-run jumping robs like DeSille has, and those are really probably the hardest dive or jump type of play you can make in the game.
Yeah, I don't think those get made more than maybe 1 out of 8 or 10 at the most.
Uh-oh, seeing a little bit of lag in the 16th inning. Not the right time for it, Metalhead. Tune it down. That one's hot at the corner. He gets the dive, and he's going to touch 3rd, throw it to 1st. Not going to be in time, and Eduardo's still got a chance. Boomer platoon up to the plate. Power lefty engaged. He's going to hope to get more than 1 run across here. He's got really good stats now that first pitch prayer's gone.
That was really good awareness by Ricks to know the number of outs, and I do believe the play to third was the smart play. I don't think he could have rolled 2 second to first.
Right. I think it was a
So
smart
I
play.
think he really only had the one play from the get.
Yeah, we've definitely seen some good baseball IQ, and there's a cutter inside, and he's going to touch third again, and now, for the first time, he is forced to put up a run here as he's down 1 here in the 16th, and he's got 2, 3, 4 up. The most dangerous part of his lineup is right here. Has not delivered yet. We've seen a lot of walks in this part of the order intentionally, but he swings at the first one. It's hard to be patient here in this spot.
Yeah, time is up. Gotta go.
And with the lack of power we've seen in this game, it might take 2 or 3 hits to tie this game. He's got to do it one at a time, and he's got to do it now.
Yeah, other than Stanza, I don't think we've seen another ball really hop off the bat the entire day.
3-0 count. You know he doesn't want to pitch to this batter. He's going to give him one here, but it's 3-1. We'll see if Ricks can be patient. Inside fastball. Is it going to have enough? Another great
And look at
defensive
Wiggins.
play. Wiggins been all over the field over there at shortstop. The outfield has done an amazing job, and Eduardo's 1 out away from getting game 1.
Yeah, boy, the vet has really come up with some fantastic plays here today. Both of them have, but
And long ball,
the biggest have been by Eddie.
Yeah, what a game from Eddie right there. Great defensive plays to save himself and then put that one across. And we'll go into the preview page and talk a little bit about this one before we load up the next one, because that one's just got a lot to talk about. A great game, and it is almost 2 games. So let's switch over real quick and just talk a little bit about that before we jump into game 2 and get it loaded up. And there's our beautiful faces again. Let me capture your face. There we go. Get that off of there. All right, Mist. Well, like I said, insane game. Nearly 2 games in 1. Let's get your takes off the top.
It was just mirror images. I mean, that's all it was. You know, I really, again, the awareness of both of the players, they really stayed engaged. We didn't, other than, you know, a goofy play where the ball lands a foot in front of you, or, you know, getting over aggressive slightly on the base path. I mean, it was really clean, well played baseball.
Yeah, like you said, really clean game. Was not many mistakes. They both made plays when they needed to make them, and obviously Eduardo, that veteran savviness, 3 or 4 outs, so those last 6 were all just above average plays and above average throws, and he really got out of that one. So, yeah, that was a great game 1, and we hope to see maybe a little bit shorter one in game 2, or we're going to have a long night here, Mist, but we'll get game 2 rolling here in a second after really an epic game 1. And so far, all 5 games that we've hosted in the AAA have been down to the wire and down to extras. So I'll get that one queued up, and we'll get it going here in just a minute. So everyone hang on tight.
Think I'll ever loosen up.
All right, breaking off.
I don't care what you do if you're coming for a better back up. And every day is brand new. Gonna build it from the bottom up. I got one life, trying to get it right. Don't need you telling me what I should do. I'm a renegade, I'm unafraid. Don't need you telling me what I should do. Nobody can tell me nothing. Gotta let me live.
I am. Okay. Oh, just a minute or two.
All right, everybody, we're back now. Sorry for the little bit of a long break, but you know that was a 16-inning game. So we've got game 2 here, and now home field advantage is switched, just like it did for Zlat, the lower seed in the last series that we watched. Now Eduardo, as a 3 seed, switches home field advantage, and he's got Perro Point, which is a really weird stadium to play at if you're not used to it. And he's looking to take a 2-0 lead, as Ricks obviously looks to tie it up 1-1 after an epic game 1. We'll see what game 2 has in store for us. These guys are both locked in. You know, this is practically game 3 for them.
Yeah, go ahead and feed me here, Uni.
Oh,
I think that
okay,
broke
sorry.
off.
Yeah.
Want to say hello to my buddy Schnabel, popping into our chat here. Meg the Snowbird was here earlier, probably still here. Let's Animal, and of course Kawashi we already talked with.
Kawashi always in the streams. Love to see
Always in the
Kawashi
streams.
around. And there's a quick first strikeout. Some more dope uniforms from the Cerezas. I got to hit him up to try to customize some uniforms for me because those are crisp. Wiggins, who had an outstanding game 1 defensively in the field, puts one away right there. It's going to be hard to live up the rest of the series to what game 1 had in store for us, but no doubt we saw a full display of the skills from both of these guys and saw why they're both in the semifinals. Literally every single facet of the ball game was put to work in that last one. Lloyd Cook, who had that one messed up play in the field there, made up for it with a couple later in the extra innings, and now he puts that one away. And now we see our first look of the Sirloins in game 2 at the plate. Still doing reticle high.
Yeah, I really like this stadium. I know some people have said that it causes a bit more lag than some of them, along with a few others. But I think this new Peril is a beautiful, not really the best eye, looking stadium, but as far as playability, a really good stadium.
Yeah, personally, probably my least favorite because I don't know. I just feel like the fence on left field is so BS, and I have no power in my gameplay. So, and it seems like mine still don't reach that left field, so it doesn't help me out. So Peril is not one I get excited to play at, but I know Eduardo loves playing here. He gets a lot of home runs here. That's how his home run count got up with the contact swing, the way he was able to hit to left and right field all season. And we're seeing Lefty Tabernacle on the mound, another one without curveball, which is something that we've really seen be meta this year in the XBL. He's got those moving fastballs that we've seen a lot this series. He's got the slider, and now he's got the walk, which we saw a lot of. He even got the warning last game for 6 out of 12 walks. He really didn't walk anyone after the 6th or 7th inning, though. Metalhead really scared him off with that warning.
So does that warning get higher as you go into extras, or does it just stay the same?
I guess we didn't see any walks to test it out. Let me see if I can turn this up. This game seems to be quieter than the last one. No, that's max volume. Eddie's probably clowning us, but he strikes out right there, and that's karma. And now we've got 1 on, 2 outs. Willard Wiggins up to the plate. No RBI hero engaged. See if we see a steal here. Low speed, but we've seen some low speed steals so far through game 1. Gets him on the slider inside. That might actually be enough to get the guy to first. That's a problem right there. Practically a long bunt, and now there's 2 on for Adonimus. Just like last game, he got 2 on with 2 outs. Ricks is going to have to wiggle out of another one early on. He's already at 20 pitches here in the first.
Yeah, and we can't assume because these people were wiggling out so much in game 1. Every game is different. It may be tougher to wiggle out here.
Okay, I was about to say, no way he goes to the pin already. And there's 2 walks, and now the bases
just
are loaded.
barely missed. I thought that was a strike.
Yeah, I think he was trying to hit the zone there. We've got power lefty. He's probably going to watch the first pitch here, and he does. And now we've got first pitch prayer in the rearview mirror. Good stats on him. Bases are loaded. Already in a hitter's count. Sees a pitch there. One of the few on the heart of the plate that we've seen. And he gets him chasing on the cutter. That's a good setup pitch, throwing that one down the middle, and then giving him a cutter from in the middle to end.
You know, that was vintage Ricks. Once he missed on the pitch he should have hit, Ricks knew exactly where to throw that next ball.
Yeah, a little bit of veteran savvy himself. And that's good contact to right field. Not going to be enough, though. Damian Rush puts it away. He's got a lot of tattoos on his players. This guy must... Maybe Ricks runs a real-life sleeve. Or maybe he's like me and didn't adjust a single player's looks and just ran him out there. I know I've had some people upset with me, the fact that I've got people that look nothing like their real-life build, but real-life names. And if they're in here, they know who I'm talking to, but guess what, boys? You're going to see a white CC Sabathia out there again this year.
You got to do it. Well, you don't have to, but you did.
And now we see a little hit and run, get the guy to second. Hit it soft enough where it didn't get him in trouble into the double play, and Wild Child up to the plate, who had some really good plays in the field last game. Who didn't have great plays in the field last game? We saw it all the way across the diamond. And now we've got 3 half innings all put away.
Yeah, other than that throw that Ed had, that play from her out in the outfield earlier in the game, boy, that was absolutely monstrous. So we did see some really great, fun defensive plays that hopefully somebody clipped. But regardless, some nice flashes of defense in game 1.
You see a rare ace exterminator engaged here, and he got good contact on him, but center fielder gets there and barely snags it at the shin. But yeah, like you said, the amount of clip-worthy plays we got in the field could have taken up a whole entire season worth of a montage that last game. If we do a playoff recap, we're going to see about half of it filled up with just game 1 Ed and Rick's dives.
Yeah, you mentioned Ace Exterminator. You don't see people use that very much. I know in my case, I have my top 2 pitchers generally are just by pure fluke happen to be within 1 or 2 points, 5 points of that B+ A- cutoff. So I always just make sure I keep them into the B+ just in case somebody's got an Ace Exter. I mean, if I had them way up above that, I would just leave them. But if they're within 1 or 2 points, there's no reason to put an A- pitcher up there.
Yeah, I know it engages at A-. Does it scale with A and A+?
Does what scale?
Do you get more boost for A and A+ with Ace Exterminator as relative to
No, I think it's a flat cutoff at A-.
Yeah, I don't run it personally just because, like you said, there's really not a whole lot of A- A type of pitchers in the league. Even some of these beasts like Sabrina Perez, they're going to be your very few A-, and they're not someone that's going to be easy to hit whether you have Ace Exterminator on or not. The way I look at it, if someone throws an A overall pitcher out there, it doesn't matter what my stats are. I'm striking out until that guy gets out of the game.
Right. That's kind of my thinking too. It's really not. It's a great trait in some other leagues. It's really not a great trait in the XBL in general.
Right. Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of really outstanding, like you definitely aren't going to see an S tier level player in the XBL. A whole lot of B-, B+ level players, and then you're going to get some people like this, A-, you're going to see pretty often at shortstop and center field are going to be your highest letter ratings just because of the combo of fielding along with their speed, and usually they're going to have decent hitting stats as well. So A- for center field and shortstop, but other than that, you're seeing a whole lot of B something overall every single team. And something I've noticed that's interesting on both their lineups, they actually have secondary positions on a lot of their starting players, which you don't see a lot in the XBL.
Yeah, I think you nailed it, Uni. Typically, it's your shortstop and your center fielder. That's what mine always is. I've always got my shortstop and my center fielder are the only A players. Usually, they're both A minus. But I never ever have a player that's an A that's not one of those two players. And it's not really by design. It's just because you have to put speed on those players, and it kind of eats up a lot of points.
And that's a big stop from Wiggins right there, as there was 2 on with 2 outs. He gets a diving play that almost got up the middle and would have scored one. Another defensive output so far. A few diving plays early on in this game. We're only in the 3rd inning. And a Longbolo with finally a base knock. Longbolo's struggled in game 1 and really has struggled so far in these playoffs, but a real namesake for the Sirloins. Everybody knows that. Stanzo had that home run last game to break it open and end up getting the win. Up to the dish here with 1 on. 3-0. And Ricks with 3 walks, just like last game. A lot of early walks, really showing a lot of respect for Eduardo and his batting prowess.
I don't think he's thrown Stanza a strike yet in this one.
Yeah, she might not get another strike this series after what she did in game 2. And he gets him at third, knows his timing well and gets him just in time. Keeps that leadoff runner 1 base further. Willard Wiggins, who's had a great series so far at the dish and in the field, steps up here with an opportunity to make some noise. And he does as he pokes it to left field. We're not going to see enough speed to get to the dive there. And now we've got bases loaded, a lot like the way last game started. Eduardo putting people on. Rick's trying to wiggle out of it. 45 pitches now in the 3rd inning, and he's going to wiggle out of it again, possibly to second, to first. Is he going to have enough? And he does, and he gets out of it again. That's 5 base runners stranded so far for the Sirloins, and it's looking eerily similar to the beginning of that game 1. And once again, they're at even hits, even runs. The only difference is the walks.
Yeah, well, both of them, but Rick's has really been uncanny and wiggling out of these multiple players on base situations.
Right, not something you'd think would be sustainable, but so far through 20 innings, it seems like he's gotten out of every single situation. The only time he's actually given up something in those 2 or 3 runner situations was he gave up 1 run in those middle innings of that game 1, and that was it. And there's a double play opportunity. The dive, still going to have enough time, and barely gets him just by a step.
Wow.
And Choo-Choo comes up, who had an RBI in the last game, but got walked a few times in the later innings because of his batting stats. And we haven't mentioned the starter yet on the mound for the Sirloins, but Slip's got some lower stats, a way different pitcher than we saw last game. And a pitcher like this makes it extra hard when you see Sabrina Perez come out of the bullpen.
Yep.
A huge adjustment whenever you see a pitcher like this start, and then you come against a A- overall relief pitcher in the 4th or 5th inning. Eduardo aware that RBI hero is on this player, and steal is definitely in the realm of possibilities. And a great strike on the curveball, and we're in an 0-2 count now. He does steal, but it's a fastball high. Able to get back and not actually be a snail. A lot of times when you see them turn back like that, they instantly turn into a turtle. And there's 3 outs. And now we're up bottom of the 4th. No one across. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 2 hits and 2 hits only from the Sirloins here, because you got to even it back up at 5 hits each. They seem to be mirror images of themselves so far.
Yeah, it almost feels like the difficulty in hitting has kind of grown a life of its own here. It feels like they just it doesn't feel like Ricks has really driven a ball the entire series.
Yeah, he really hasn't, and he was still able to put 5 across by small balling last time. It ended up being 5-6, I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
Little weak pop out to Crescent there. Damian Rush up with contact lefty, and once again Ace Exterminator is engaged. A really strong batter with those traits on. And the pitcher able to glove it right there and knock it down. Gets the 2nd out of the inning. We really need to see 2 hits here so we can keep all the stats even, or it's going to feel something weird's going to be off with this game if they don't have identical stats. And there's a hit to the third baseman. And we're going to see an inning with once a little disparity.
Boy, they're marching right through this, though, aren't they?
Yeah. The way that the pitching has been and the lack of well-hit balls, though, this might be a 16-inning game, but 0-0 until the end. The combo of the pitching skills along with the display of fielding that we've seen this series is going to be very difficult to get runs to come through. Zlat and Ty, we saw some games that were 16, 17 runs, but it's going to be nearly complete opposite because these guys just don't hit for power the way those guys do, and the fielding errors in that series on the other side of the bracket was really paramount, and we've seen the complete opposite so far. It's been nothing but excellent fielding from these two.
Yeah, much tighter in this one, as we expected. That's their play style.
Right. Yeah, it's literally been to a T what we expected on the play style from these two so far in the first 2 games. Where in the Zlat and Ty series, we saw a little bit more. I mean, we knew it was going to be high scoring, but man, did they put up some runs in those last couple of games, and we saw the pitching really fall off in that series. I don't think that's something you're going to see in this series. I think the pitching is going to be pretty locked in as far as this one goes. Pinch perfect coming in early. Rally starter on this batter, but it's a tie game, so it's not going to have any effect. And a weak pop out. He's second guessing. And the RNG finally comes into play. Something that he can't control. And that's what it's going to take to get somebody on.
Wow, shortstop fell asleep at the switch. I don't know if he was. Sometimes when you kind of wiggle or move the player late, that seems like it can kind of lead to something like that, but there's really no excuse for dropping that ball.
Hit from Lombalo. And he brought in that pinch runner. He's really hoping to just shortstop's having a hard time. Yeah, I don't know if it's a legit thing where when you wiggle or not. It's the same thing as I've heard Pseudo say if you charge up the throw meter before it does. I'm pretty sure that's all an urban myth, but
I don't buy the charge meter thing, but I don't know for sure. I do think if you move the player, kind of make an adjustment last second, I do think that can lead to a more likely drop.
Yeah, with the amount of weird things that Metalhead has added into these games, I wouldn't be surprised at all if that has an effect on it. I wouldn't be surprised if the throw meter had anything to do with it. There seems to be some weird Easter eggs in Metalhead coded into this, and as we all know, they don't know how to fix a lot of them either. Good hit to right field. We're seeing some better contact now, but it doesn't produce anything, and now see if Linus Bigby comes in again. Same rotation order as last time, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we've really lowered the bar, Uni, from the last series, where now a softly hit ball to the right fielder is hard hit. Whereas when Ty and Zlat were playing, when it barely cleared the fence, we kind of yawned.
And now we're seeing one little dip under your normal stats on the pitcher and you're out, when in the last game you had to throw until your elbow was falling off and you were at 0 stats. We're seeing complete opposites of bullpen management, and we've seen the bullpen stretch 16 innings with them going to the bullpen early. We didn't even see half of the relievers in that last series.
Yeah, that was crazy. They all just seemed to come in ready to go. That was a good, kind of an interesting game. Usually somebody comes in there and is just in the hole almost right away, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, every reliever has actually came in and done an outstanding job. There hasn't been one weak performance on the mound yet. Starters got roughed up more than anybody, giving up 3 or 4 runs in that first game. Missed bunt. Pitch out there to hold the runner in first, at first. But now he steals. He's going to get caught up. Is he going to get there? Nope, gets him. And a bad first out there. You can see them getting aggressive on the base pass a little bit with the stealing because they see how difficult it is just to put bats on balls right now. Even small balling, quick adjustments from both sides, knowing that small ball hurt you last game. You got to be aware of it this game, and they're really keeping base runners in check.
Yeah, and in general, Uni, when you see a veteran like Eddie pitch out like that, and you didn't go, it's time to start concentrating on hitting, because he, you know what I mean? Like, he's watching you.
Yeah, as soon as you see a pick off a pitch out, even a fastball just way out of the zone, you know that you're getting watched, and there's really no point because you're just going to get yourself out. It's very rare that they'll make a mistake after that. And that one's well hit. That's going to be almost to the warning track. Even with the short fence out there, not going to matter. It doesn't reach it. And center field does have some depth to it here, especially left center field. The wall is short.
Oh yeah, that entire short wall is way, way out. It's much easier to hit it over here to right field. Even though that fence is 3 times the height, it's way, way shorter.
Yeah, even 3 times the height. It's pretty much a standard fence on most stadiums.
Right.
And that one just barely got over the first baseman's head as we see a base runner get on here with Boomer Platoon up. That one's over there, and a nice jump from Crescent. The fielding stats pay off as he's able to get that 20-30 vert, and it's enough. I know we saw a 40-inch vert from the third baseman last game. We've seen some basketball players in the infield so far this series. Misses way up top. Barely off the plate right there, off the top of the zone. And a good job fighting that one away. An aggressive swing as he's in a 3-0 count. Gets a weak liner up the middle.
Ooh, this is not really who you want at the plate.
Eddie doing a good job watching the top of the zone, not getting any chases from him on the top of the zone right now. That reticle really paying off, I think. And now the steal hurts him again for the 3rd time this series. That one might not have got through anyways, but it was well struck and had a chance to get through. 0-0 all the way into the 7th inning now. Much quicker than last game. Even with the amount of deep counts that we've seen. Has not been a whole lot of base runners on. Choo Choo is up trying to change that. Already has a single in the ball game. With just a majestic beard on this guy. I wish I could grow some facial hair like that. Three way outside of the zone. Another aggressive 3-0 swing. This time it's from Ricks, and both times it pays off for these guys. And now we've got 1 on 1 out.
Yeah, Ricks really needs to start hitting. We haven't seen much from him for quite some time.
Yeah, he's really struggled at the plate here for nearly 13, 14 innings now. We've only seen 1 run come across for him after a decently hot start. Oh, and that could be trouble, but he's not able to get the tag as he slides back to first. Soy Capitan up, and there's a steal, and it's a good shot. It's going to find a gap.
That's going
Is
to
it
get
going to have
down.
enough? Oh, and
It's going to go all the way.
And now he's going to round. He's going to go to third. He's going to keep going to third. He's going to challenge it, and he barely gets there. The run would have counted anyways, but we finally see the first run of the game on a perfectly timed hit and run in the gap, and the RNG hurts him out there in center field. It seems like the only way these guys make a mistake in the field is when the game does it to them. You wonder if no dive there and he keeps the guy at third, though.
I don't think he gets to the ball, though. I think he made the right play. It was just a good hit.
Yeah, definitely the best hit we've seen so far this game from Ricks. He made good contact, and it was perfect timing with the hit and run. And is that one going to get through? He's got a good arm over there, Wiggins, and he gets him, but not without giving up 1 run after that center field RNG. And now 1 run feels like 7 in a game like this. Eduardo comes up to the plate, and he's going to see a good reliever come into the ball game now, I'm sure.
Yeah, and that's where you love to have that quality shortstop, right, Uni, that you can trust. Once they get to that ball, you know they can make that big throw.
And you wonder if getting into the 7th he gets out Linus. No, he doesn't. In a game like this, I wouldn't have been surprised. But he did bring in 2 or 3 subs already early on. He might have nothing to go to. Lines up the reticle, guessed it there, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be the first out of the inning. Hammerlawn Ballo due for a big shot. Has not done much in these playoffs. No home runs and only a 206 average. Not what you want to see from your leadoff man.
Oh, jumps at a change.
Oh, but lines that one up. You don't see many early swings like that with contact swingers, but he did get him out in front on that changeup on that second pitch. And now Cat Stanza, who clutched up last game, has an opportunity to do something here. Well struck, but that one's swung on early and sent to right field out of bounds, or out of play. Might see a pitch here to hit. As he watches it, good pitch
brutal
inside.
pitch.
And he gets him chasing him like Ricks has done all series. Gets him into a double play ball. Gets out of a runners on situation. His LOB percentage has got to be super high for this series.
Yeah, that was tough. He nailed 2 pitches there, and Eddie had no choice but to swing at that last one.
A weak hit right through the pitcher as he gets the leadoff man on. And you cannot give up too many runs in a game that you can't produce anything. You really need to keep this at 1 or at most 2 because you're not showing a whole lot of power, the Sirloins. I mean, when you're at the plate. That one's, ooh, barely fair. I might have let that one roll and go foul, but he snatches it up, and now we got a guy on second for Luna Hendricks. Another great beard. If I watch this whole Rick series, I might go get me a beard roller. These guys are looking snazzy. Good shot to left field. Is it going to have enough distance? It's not as Ballin gets there.
I think that's the furthest Ricks has hit a ball there. Leaned into it pretty good, but it is really deep out there.
Yeah, and any hit like that almost feels like it's going to be a home run just because it's been rare to see this series, but it really wasn't even close. Now the
Yeah, it
Sirloins
hopped
get
off
out of
the
it.
bat, but not really that close.
And the Sirloins got to get to work here. It's the 8th inning. Have not really produced much. They got 2 on in that first inning, and then they got the bases loaded in the second inning, and it just shows how big those spots are no matter how early in the game. When you get the bases loaded or 2 on like that, it really hurts to not push anything across, and it's coming back to haunt the Sirloins right now.
Whoa.
Wow, you don't see that very often. A good snag there. Only 30 or 40 fielding on the pitcher, but it's enough. Willard Wiggins at the plate. Absolutely insane stats right now. Good watch. Even without RBI Hero. Really juiced up, but grounds out to second. It's not going to help the locked in as we see a second out put away here. And then a pop-up on a hittable pitch there. Sirloin struggling at the plate right now. Only been able to put 1 hit across since the second inning. The only other base runner that's reached since was on that error from shortstop. And there's an early chase on the first pitch. As we're in the 9th inning now, even pushing 1 across here is major.
Yeah, Rick's biggest weakness at the plate today has been chasing that cutter.
Fouls that one off and stays alive. 1-2 count with 1 out. Pressure bars are at 3. No doubt going to be at 4 for Eddie when he gets up to the plate. Another weak grounder. Stanza, but the second baseman Lloyd Cook is right there and still going to be safe. Mojo up for the guy with the infield single they're going to award to him. And now Wildchild up to the plate with insane speed on first base over there. And he gets him on the pitch out. Another veteran savvy play, and he gets him caught in no man's land. And we've seen a couple of those perfectly timed pickoffs, perfectly timed pitch outs. And man, it hurts because there's a big shot. If he doesn't get the steal there with that crazy speed he had on first base, it would have scored a run. Luckily for him, he's got a 1-run cushion.
Is that the 3rd time Ricks has been caught cold at trying to steal in this series?
We've seen 2 pitch outs work, and then we saw that pick off.
That's straight. Yeah.
Yeah, that just shows that the amount of games that Eddie has in the XBL, this is where it really comes to play, is series like this. He knows where you're at mentally, and he knows when to have those pickoffs. and when to have those pitch outs, and he's done a great job timing them up this time. Even with the speed of the Cerezas, they have not been able to get steals very successfully, been caught out more than successful. And now we're in the bottom of the ninth in a 1-0, and it's all or nothing here. You got to try to tie this ball game at the very least. And that's not going to do it as he pops it out to right field. He's got Damian Rush up to the plate, 7-8 up. Not the strongest batters. That's a good hit, but also not going to be enough, and it's 2 away quickly here, and he's down to his final out.
Wow.
Trying to keep his hopes alive. It only takes 1 hit. This is where playing a contact swinger isn't quite as scary in a 1-run game because there's just not as much power threat, and that's a weak. Is it going to drop? Center fielder's got good speed, and they're just on, like you'd expect, another great fielding play to end the game there. And wow, really quick game there. That was just 30 minutes long, and it's a 1-0 ball game.
Yeah. Wow. What a game. What a series so far. Again, it was dead even, so we're looking at 1-1 series. This is a best of 7.
Am I on the right screen? Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was getting everything switched over. Yeah, like you said, I mean, 2 good games. Second one, obviously, a lot shorter than the first one, but came down to the wire the way the first one did. And 1 run was the difference for both games. And now we have one go both ways. Series is tied 1-1. Not going to get a sweep on this side of the bracket. And if you're playing 1-run games back and forth like that on both sides, and we saw that Rick's really tuned in his pitching and had Eduardo chasing a little more than that second game. But yeah, I think it's when you look at 2 games like that, you know it's going to be a 6-7 game series. There's just no way around it because it's just 1 or 2 mistakes is the difference, and even the computer can really screw you up. Like the RNG right there was the difference in the game. That one diving RNG issue costed Eduardo 1 run, and that's all it took. Ricks took advantage of it.
Yeah, and they really sustained the quality pitching, especially there in that game. You can see why these guys finished 2 and 3. They don't have the biggest reputation because their bats are really nothing special, but they both play defense. You saw Eddie picking people off left and right. And they were able to get balls into the corners under pressure, and they also were able to get out of jams, which is a skill.
Yeah, the amount of times that we saw Ricks get out of jams, that first game really shouldn't have went as long as it did. He left so many people on base. Eduardo really had a big opportunity. Obviously, ended up coming back and winning it anyways, but the game was really a lot tighter than it felt early on because of the amount of base runners that the Sirloins put on, and we saw a lot of walks in both games, and Ricks is really seems comfortable up there when there's 2 or 3 base runners on. He's able to walk 1 or 2 guys and still get out of it, and that is a huge skill to have, a big asset to have, especially when the pressure's up in games and you know that you can get guys reaching a little bit. We've talked about it before, getting double play ground balls or getting weak pop outs in those situations is really just a knack that you have to have and something that the great pitchers in the league have. So not a whole lot of power display, but a lot of singles, a lot of get out of jams. Obviously, amazing fielding. I haven't seen that good of fielding in back-to-back games this entire season. So that's pretty much all I have to say about those 2 games. I mean, we're in for a good series. Those 2 guys seem like a great matchup, and you're really seeing mirror images of themselves. You're just having to stare yourself in the face, and you kind of have to ask yourself, how can I beat this guy? He knows exactly how I'm playing because he plays like me. So, if you have anything to add to that before we get out of here, Mist.
Just real quick, I would say that Zlat versus Ty was kind of a real war of talent, especially at the dish. This one is clearly a mental war. It's just going to come down to, like you said, 1 or 2 mistakes. Possibly RNG could win this series for either player. So yeah, looking forward to. I guess we're going to continue tomorrow night, I believe, is the plan. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, looking forward to it as well. Like you said, I think that was a great little nugget that you said right there. The mental game versus Zlat and Ty, we saw just pure talent at the plate. It was huge disruptions I'm not even going to try to say that word. Huge difference between the two series and the way that we've seen them play out early on so far. But yeah, we've got games 3 and 4 coming at y'all tomorrow. I think D Train's going to be in the booth, so we're going to have a little bit of a mix up. I know me and Mist have been in here every single game for the AAA. Then right after that, I believe on Thursday, we're going to get XBL rolling at you with Lazy and Flash, and no doubt you want to catch that. A little bit of an OG champ versus Lazy, who's just been running the XBL for quite some time now, and we're really going to see a big battle over there. I think it's going to be a lot like that Zlatan Ty series. They both have crazy power, no matter the fact that they can both pitch, but the power is just something you can't get past. So yeah, should be a fun week. 3 days in a row of games, so y'all make sure you tune in. Other than that, it's been fun, and I'll catch you next time, Mist.
All right. Thanks a lot, Uni. A lot of fun.
Yep. See y'all on chat, everybody.